Continuing on with the parameters of the leaves, we're talking about the leaf orientation in this video, the first parameter being the symmetrical spread. If I do check it, then the leaves are going to spread symmetrically across the branches. To make this clearer, I'm going to keep all the leaves, make them smaller, zoom in, reduce the pruning, and I'm going to reduce the bend to 0 for now. Go down and look at the spread parameters. In case symmetrical spreading was off, it means that the leaves are rotated across the branch. If I choose symmetrical spread, it means that the leaves are supposed to spread symmetrically across the branch depending on the spread on branch value. So if I set this to 90 degrees, it means that the leaves are spread like so. Reducing this value will reduce the amount of spread. The leaf spread will vary this spread value randomly. The parameter swivel on branch in this case has no effect because we have symmetrical spread. If we uncheck the symmetrical spread, then the swivel on branch will come into play. If I set it to 0, it means that all the leaves have the same swiveling value. Increasing this value will make the leaves rotate across the branch. Point to branch tip means that the leaves that are closer to the tip of the branch will be pointing along the direction of that branch. Otherwise, all the leaves are going to have the same orientation in terms of spreading. A good value to use is 0.5. Spin leaf local will actually spin the leaves locally across their y-axis. Spin leaf global will spin all the leaves on the branch. Incremental spin means that the spinning of the leaves is incremented while the leaves are going along the branch. This is good whenever you are creating palm trees and you want to have variation on the spinning of the leaves. Let's take an example. If I create a new tree, I'll go to my tree library and I'm going to choose a date palm tree. If I go to my leaves and increase the incremental spin, this is what it's doing. It's spinning the leaves incrementally to create more variation and more randomness along the branch to simulate chaos in the distribution of the leaves. Now you can increase the incremental spin by very small values to have more randomness to the orientation of the leaves. So this is with no incremental spin, and this is with an incremental spin of 2. This will create a randomness, and especially if you have wind blowing over the tree, this will add to the realism of the leaf orientation. The leaf tilt is an important parameter, but it's more visible whenever the leaves are set to symmetrical spread. If I increase the leaf tilt, then the leaves are going to tilt downwards to simulate aging and weariness. So if I set the tilt to 90 degrees, it means that the leaves are tilted down, very tired, very weary. If I set it to 0, they're standing up, strong and young and healthy. You can also increase the tilt variance so that not all the leaves will have the same tilting value. The next parameter is the leaf turbulence, and you can use it to turbulize the shape of the leaves, but you should not overdo it. This should work in small values to create a randomness to the shape of the leaves. A good value to use would be 0.5. You can change the variance range to change the scale of the turbulence. The last parameters I'm going to talk about are the leaf profile and the profile multiplier plus the leaf size. We have seen the profile multiplier. If I reduce it, it means that this profile is not respected. If I increase it all the way up to 1, it means that it's respected fully. You can create a stem for the leaf, for example, by moving the first point like this This will create a small stem for the leaf, and of course I would need to increase the segments to have a better definition. Reduce the y value, break the tangency for this point here, and there is the stem of the leaf. Last, we have the leaf size parameter. If we decrease it, it means that the size of the leaves is going to decrease at the branch tips. This is another way I can have just one leaf at the tip of the branches. For example, I can increase the pruning of the leaves just like I did before, and then go down and reduce the leaf size like so, or I can just go like this, and now I have the very tip having the leaf. It's not taking the orientation, so I would actually increase the point to branch tip to 1, and this will give me one leaf at every tip. Now the reason this leaf is not taking the proper orientation is because of the tilting and the tilting variance. So if I reduce both of these values to 0, I'm going to have the leaf take the orientation of the branch. So this is another way how I would have one leaf at the tip of every branch. So these were the leaf's parameters.